Want to know how to learn a language 2 times faster? Here's a quick hint. It involves reading and listening to your target language at the same time. It's a super easy yet powerful method that anyone can apply to absorb a language. And you can apply this method with the lesson notes inside our learning system. So stick around. Today, you'll discover why listening and reading along is so powerful, what the lesson notes are and how to get them, and 3 ways to learn faster with the lesson notes. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So let's jump in. I'll guide you through our learning system so you get to see exactly what's inside and our members-only study tools. Okay, so in this lesson, let's take a look at the lesson notes on our website. But first, I want you to imagine that you're listening to native speakers that are having a conversation. Maybe you catch a word or 2 here or there, but the rest kind of goes over your head because they're speaking really fast. There are lots of unknown words and sentence patterns, and this is a really common thing that lots of beginners really struggle with. But what if you could listen to that conversation and follow along at the same time? You're reading the things that they are saying as they're speaking. Makes it really easy to understand everything, right? But this also will help you to retain the information and remember it better because you're listening to it and you're reading it at the same time. So that's what we're gonna look at today with the lesson notes. This is a tool that you can have in every single lesson on our website. So let's talk about how to find it and how you can use it. So we're gonna start from the dashboard on the website, but there are a few different ways that you can access the lesson notes. So from the dashboard, you can go to any lesson that's in your pathways list here. So for example, I'm gonna go to the Go to Lesson button here that is currently in the active pathway. And to access the lesson notes for this current lesson, I'm going to just click on the lesson notes link, which is just below this main dashboard panel here. So when we go to lesson notes, we find some basic information about the lesson. What is the lesson focus, right? In this case, it's about asking about health or general situation of someone, right? So this is a very basic overview. But inside the lesson notes, you will find the dialogue from the lesson. You'll find the things that they said. You'll find some information about it. Why do we say this expression? Why did the person say it that way, right? We also have some examples of other things that we can say in that situation. There are some sample sentences that you can use for reference, pronunciation tips. You'll find culture tips as well. There's key vocabulary, key phrases. Depending on the language you're studying and the level, you might also find some grammar tips. So you'll find a little bit of an outline about how to use that grammar. So there's a lot of information all inside the lesson notes for you to read. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the different ways that you can use these lesson notes. So let's say, for example, you take this lesson today, and then you want to review the lesson tomorrow. You come to the website and you decide you want to review the lesson, but you don't want to just listen to the lesson again, right? What you can do is come to the lesson notes section, for example, and read through the information as you listen to the lesson. So you're reading the dialogue as you listen to the lesson. You read through everything as you listen along. Maybe you choose to speak along with the lesson, or you do some shadowing practice with the lesson. You write down the example sentences that are provided or the sample sentences that are provided. You do some work with the pronunciation tip that is included in the lesson, right? You can copy out the sentences that are written here and use that for writing practice. So there are lots of different things that you can do with the lesson notes that aren't just about like listening and kind of reviewing separately, if you know what I mean. You can put them all together. So you listen to the lesson and then you read the lesson notes at the same time, and then maybe you listen again without the lesson notes. So you can integrate these into your review sessions so that you're not just listening every time, but you're also really thinking about the different ways that you can use the language, speaking and reading and writing, so that you retain the information, you remember it better, and so that you learn faster. Lastly, I want to point out that if you continue scrolling down on this page, you'll also find a lesson transcript if you want to review that also. The last point that I want to make then is this download as PDF button. So you can click this at the bottom of the lesson notes section, or there's another one at the bottom of the lesson transcript section too. If you want to download this and save it for maybe using it on your phone, on your computer, if you want to print it out or something like that, it's up to you. You can do that very easily here. Choose download as PDF to do that. So this is a really quick introduction to all the different ways that you can use the lesson notes to make sure that you're learning quickly and efficiently, and to make your review sessions really kind of interesting and not just listening to exactly the same thing as you listened to the day or the week before. So again, you can find the lesson notes from the lesson notes link at the bottom of every lesson dashboard on the website. And you can review the lesson without retaking the lesson with the lesson notes. You just read through, review the lesson's dialogue, grammar, and vocabulary. It just takes a minute or two. But why do this? Well, one of the best ways to acquire language is through repeated exposure. So you take a lesson and then review the lesson notes after for that repeated exposure. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account.
Hi everyone, welcome to Japanese Easy Grammar. I'm Risa. Today I'm with...
I'm Eric. I also work here at Innovative Language, but I'm usually behind the camera. Today I'm gonna be joining Risa for this class because I've been studying Japanese for the past 4 or 5 months now. So I want to see how much I improved, and I want to be taught by Risa because she's an amazing teacher, right?
Thank you. I'm trying.
But before we jump into the lesson, Risa, lately we haven't spoken that much because we've been super busy here at the office. So I was wondering, 最近どう？
最近はもう暑すぎて何もしなくても本当にすぐ疲れちゃいます。
なるほど。
It's too hot, right?
Yes, it's very 信じられない。
信じられないぐらい。
It's been very difficult to do things outside.
The temperature goes above 35 degrees, and I think usually it's, you know, like hottest day is 35 degrees, around 35, and now it's above, so.
Yes. 最近は新しい趣味やアニメや始めた。
最近新しい趣味やアニメは、新しい趣味は特に始めてないんだけど、夏の趣味としていろんな虫を見るのが好き。
虫の見る？Seeing insects?
そうそう。
Oh, I got that right. Amazing. How do you do that?
例えばもうすぐセミとか。
でもまだ。
まだ。でも場所によってはもう出てきてるセミが。
Do you try to catch them or something like that?
Sometimes when they become cicada before, sometimes I see them on the street wondering where to go, and mostly it's eaten by birds or 車にひかれたりカーが。
面白い。
So to help them, that's one of my 趣味。
I want to see pictures one of these days. But today, why are we here?
Today we are going to learn about Thai. So it's not the sea bream.
Yeah, but that's very delicious, right?
Yeah, it is. Thai is used to express your desire that you want to do something. It's like want to do something in English.
I think, so of course I prepared for this lesson and I've been studying. And I think this is one of those expressions that, especially because we live here in Japan, right? You always want to say, oh, I want to eat that, I want to do that. And it's so easy to, it's a suffix that's so easy to conjugate and to understand that once you know it, it opens possibilities to communicate so much better.
So Thai, you just need to attach at the end of the verb. For example, the verb to eat in Japanese is?
食べます。食べる。
So, 食べます is also fine. If you know the masu, or you just need to remove mas from the verb, and then conjugate Thai. So, for example, 食べます, remove mas, 食べたい, I want to eat. So, you need to conjugate Thai with stem of the verb, or if you know the mas form, just remove mas and then conjugate with Thai. So did you prepare any example sentences for today's lesson? Thai, using Thai.
Of course, Risa. If you ask me to prepare stuff for the lesson, I will always do it because I'm afraid.
You're afraid?
yes. So, 怖い。先生は真面目です。
真面目です。私は真面目です。たまに真面目ではありませんが。
私は不真面目。
You 不真面目。
So, I'm going to show you what I wrote, but my handwriting is really, really bad. So, you know, I'm just going to try to read it. So, 腹減った。納豆を食べたいです。
おー、珍しい。That's rare.
Really?
Many people hate it.
Actually, I'm surprised because I think natto is very delicious. And
It's healthy too.
yep, sticky, but but I like it.
So what did you say in English?
So first I said harajeta, which is informal for like I'm hungry,
Yeah.
and then natto o tabetai desu.
So first of all, if you want to say I'm hungry, Eric said harahetta, but it sounds quite masculine. So you can just say お腹が空きました or お腹が空いた. お腹が空いた is plain form and お腹が空きました is polite form. But 腹減った is also fine too.
I'm wondering, maybe it's a little bit informal, and because I'm using informal, and then I use des, so maybe I ruin the informality.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
So can you say the sentence one more time?
Of course. So I said, harajeta, natto o tabetai desu.
Oh, but that's totally fine. When you say 腹減った, you almost sounds like you're talking to yourself. Like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat natto, and you're talking to other people. So you're talking in polite form.
Okay. Okay, then first one, good.
So it's correct.
Perfect.
納豆が食べたいです. I want to eat 納豆. 納豆を食べる. Eat 納豆. 納豆を食べたいです. I want to eat 納豆.
Nice. Okay, I'll move to the next one. 暑いので海に行きたいです.
Oh, great. That's perfect sentence.
Really?
And it's perfect for this season.
Yes.
So what you said is?
So I said, it's very hot, and because of that, I want to go to the beach.
Me too. 暑いので because it's hot, 海へ行きたいです. Did you say 私は海へ行きたいです?
I didn't say,
海へ行きたい
no, I didn't say watashi wa. Usually I try to omit it if possible, but
Because it's obvious when you're speaking, you want to go. So you can just omit 私は and just say 海に行きたいです. I want to go to the beach.
Okay, so for the next one, I think I tried to go the extra mile and I did a wrong conjugation, but you will let me know. So, 海に泳ぎたいでした.
Okay, so what do you want to say in English?
Oh my God. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, I wanted to swim at the beach. So past.
The past. So you wanted to.
Yes.
So たい is present
Okay.
sentence. And たかった in your case, wanted to do something.
I see.
So 海に行きたいです. I want to go to the beach. 海に行きたかったです. Meaning I wanted to go to the beach.
I see.
So,
Okay.
but close.
Lesson learned. So I'm gonna say it again with the proper.
Sure.
So 海に泳ぎたかったです.
海に泳ぎに行きたかったです. Because 海で泳ぎたかったでした. So you need to change the particle. 海で泳ぎたかったです.
I see. Okay, so to make it right, I'll say it one more time.
Sure.
海で泳ぎたかったです.
Perfect.
Okay.
暑いので海で泳ぎたかったです.
So if I wanted, just for the sake of making it right with ni, I would need to say 泳ぎに行ったかった.
That sounds more natural. Like I wanted to go to the beach.
Right.
海に泳ぎに行きたかったです.
So it's go and swim versus just wanted to swim. Sorry. Because one is 泳ぎたかった, which is wanted to swim.
Yeah.
And the other was 泳ぎに行ったかった, which is
行きたかった.
like にきま, right?
That's actually a good point. 海で泳ぎたかったです. If you're at the beach already, you can say that.
Yes.
海で泳ぎたかったです. So that's the original sentence you gave me, right?
Yeah, but I was not at the beach. I was probably in my apartment.
Yes. In that case, 海に泳ぎに行きたかったです. Because to do swimming at the beach, you need to go to the beach. So it's more natural sentence.
Got it. Particles are always so difficult.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you mess up with the particle, that kind of make nonsense,
Yes.
or it sounds really, how do you say, like broken Japanese.
Right. Okay, so last example for today, from my side, 漢詩が勉強したくない.
So you want to say, I don't want to study kanji.
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, can you say that sentence one more time?
Of course, 漢詩が勉強したくない. I can say, sometimes I wonder, like, I wanted to keep it informal, so I didn't say des,
Yeah.
but
Sure, that's totally
Okay.
fine. The problem is not that part.
Oh my God. Okay.
So you said 漢字が勉
Yes.
強したくないです。
Yes.
So here, again, the particle problem. 漢字を勉強したくないです。
I see.
So たくない is negative form of たい, which means たくない means do not want to do something.
Right.
So you don't want to study 漢字、漢字を勉強したくないです。I don't want to study 漢字。
Just out of curiosity, just in case someone at home is doing the same mistake
Yeah.
as I am doing, what's the difference between using wo and ga in this circumstance? If
漢字が勉強したくないです。漢字を勉強したくないです。It's kind of hard to explain.
I
But
understand.
okay, so 漢字を勉強したくないです sounds more like you talking about in general.
Yes.
漢字を勉強したくない。漢字が勉強したくないです。So maybe if you have other choice to do something and you're like specifically talking about you don't want to study 漢字. So it's a little like a nuance.
Right. What we can do later is put a link below on
Yeah.
the comment sections with a class comparing ga, wo, and ni. Okay, Risa, so I'm gonna say it one more time with
Yeah.
the correction, right? So, kanshi wo benkyou shitaku nai.
Yes,
I don't want to study kanjis.
sure.
I-
Or you can also say you're learning hiragana, katakana, kanji, and you say 漢字が勉強したくないです。I specifically don't want to study 漢字。
So it depends on context.
Yes,
I see.
but it's safer to use を I think in this case.
Before we move into your examples, I'll tell you one secret. I never want to study kanjis, but
Yes,
it's very important.
it
So,
is very important. You see it everywhere,
yeah.
and it actually makes reading easier.
Yes.
As a native speaker, if everything written in hiragana, I'm like, nanchara, kanchara, nanchara. But if it's written in kanji, it's easier.
Right.
Yeah. So I prepared some example sentences.
Okay.
I'm gonna express how I feel now. Okay.
I'm so nervous.
水を飲みたいです.
Okay, you want to drink water.
Yes.
私も.
You too.
私も飲みたいです。
私も飲みたいです.
Hi.
So
It's-
飲みたい means
Drink. I want to drink.
I want to drink.
Yes. Comes from nomu.
飲む、
うん
プラスたい。飲みたいです.
はい。
Or you can just say 水を飲みたい. I want to drink water. Plain form.
So I'm happy I got that one right because I was very nervous about
Yes,
the
it was
example.
easy, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And you need to know this sentence nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
yeah.
need to keep hydrating yourself.
Yes.
Another example I prepared is 今日はカレーを食べたいです.
Okay, so I feel the same way. I
Yeah?
also want to eat kare.
Oh,
I always want to eat kare. It's one of my favorite
so
foods.
you get what I said?
Yeah, yeah, you want to eat kare.
I want to eat curry today.
Yes.
Yes, 今日はカレーを食べたいです.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat today?
Today. 今日はうなぎを食べたいです.
Oh, you want to eat eel.
Yes, because unagi is very good for natsubate.
That's true.
Right?
Natsubate, how do you say that in English? Natsubate.
I think maybe summer's fatigue, but it doesn't have a translation. So usually in Japan, because it's very humid and hot,
Yes.
there's this thing called natsubate, which is when people get summer fatigue,
Like constantly tired. Yeah.
which is how I feel right now. Hello. And yeah, allegedly, when you eat unagi,
Yeah.
you basically
Become genki.
Become
because
genki.
unagi has lots of nutrition and I think it's good for your stamina.
yeah. And I have to do this one time. Unagi.
Unagi?
Yeah, it's it's a Friends reference.
Friends?
Yeah, have you ever seen Friends?
The American TV show?
Yeah.
No. What, they talk about unagi?
Yes.
どうぞ.
Unagi.
What is this?
I'll show you a clip afterwards.
Okay.
Do you have another example?
Yes, the last example
Okay, last
is what I want to do on the weekend. Okay, so it is 今週末は海に行きたいです.
私も行きたいです。
ね。
どこ? Which?
あ、どこだろう。まあ、千葉とか。
千葉とか。
But it's a bit far to go by train.
Yes.
So
先週末はマナスル行った。 Have you ever been to
真鶴っ
Manasuru?
てどこ？千葉ですか？
Kanagawa.
神奈川が千葉じゃなかった。
It's a very small beach in a
Yeah.
very Shibui city.
Shibui?
Shibui. It's very old and traditional.
yeah.
It's very beautiful, but it's like 2 hours away from Tokyo. So you know.
その真鶴の海の透明度はどうでしたか？
So it was very clean and a little bit green.
おー
But wait, it's because I think the season hasn't started yet. Because it's it's a little bit of Inaka.
Yeah.
So there's not many people and there was no one yet there. But I think next week or the other one is gonna be crowded.
Yeah,
So
it's
then
super hot
yeah.
this weekend probably as well.
So basically I got this example right as well,
Yes,
right?
so what I said is 今週末は海に行きたいです。It means I want to go to the beach this weekend.
And so Risa, that was a very good lesson and I think everybody now knows how to use Thai, right?
飲みたいです、食べたいです、寝たいです。
Netai desu. It's netai desu. And okay, so what are we gonna do in the next class?
For the next class, we are going to cover ことがある to talk about your past experience.
Right. Okay, so we're probably gonna leave a PDF to download below, and then you can prepare for the next class by providing example sentences that we can read in the class,
That'd be great.
and you can cover some of the grammar.
Okay, so that's it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Risa. I'm sorry for my Japanese. I
No.
hope
Great
it.
job.
Thank you so much. And yeah, see you everybody on the next lesson.
バイバイ。
皆さんこんにちは、みなです。このビデオでは日本の国旗という文章を一緒に読んでいきます。その後で文章についての問題があります。国旗の色、形、それから名前について聞きます。よく気をつけて読んでくださいね。文章は3回読みます。それでは始めましょう。日本の国旗。これは日本の国旗です。赤と白を使っています。国旗には赤い丸があります。丸は真ん中にあります。丸は太陽です。日本は太陽が昇る国と呼ばれています。毎日の生活では国旗は大抵日の丸と呼ばれています。日の丸は太陽の丸という意味です。フォーマルな時は日章旗と呼ばれています。日章旗は太陽の形の旗という意味です。日本の国旗の色は何ですか？ A、黒と赤。B、青と赤。C、白と赤。D、青と白。日本の国旗の丸い形はどういう意味ですか？ A、月。B、星。C、太陽。D、日。フォーマルな時は国旗を日の丸と呼びます。正しいですか？正しくないですか？ A、正しいです。B、正しくないです。それでは単語を見ていきましょう。国旗、国旗、国旗。丸、丸、丸。真ん中に、真ん中に、真ん中に。太陽、太陽、太陽。昇る、昇る、昇る。呼ばれる、呼ばれる、呼ばれる。生活、生活、生活。フォーマル、フォーマル、フォーマル。形、形、形。旗、旗、旗。次はもう一度もう少しゆっくり文章を読みます。日本の 国旗。これは日本の国旗です。赤と白を使っています。国旗には赤い丸があります。丸は真ん中にあります。丸は太陽です。日本は太陽が昇る国と呼ばれています。毎日の生活では国旗は大抵日の丸と呼ばれています。日の丸は太陽の丸という意味です。フォーマルな時は日章旗と呼ばれています。日章旗は太陽の形の旗という意味です。日本の国旗の色は何ですか？ A、黒と赤。B、青と赤。C、白と赤。D、青と白。日本の国旗の丸い形はどういう意味ですか？ A、月。B、星。C、太陽。D、日。フォーマルな時は国旗を日の丸と呼びます。正しいですか？正しくないですか？ A、正しいです。B、正しくないです。日本の国旗。これは日本の国旗です。赤と白を使っています。国旗には赤い丸があります。丸は真ん中にあります。丸は太陽です。日本は太陽が昇る国と呼ばれています。毎日の生活では国旗は大抵日の丸と呼ばれています。日の丸は太陽の丸という意味です。フォーマルな時は日章旗と呼ばれています。日章旗は太陽の形の旗という意味です。日本の国旗の色は何ですか？ A、黒と赤。B、青と赤。C、白と赤。D、青と白。答えは C、白と赤です。日本の国旗の丸い形はどういう意味ですか？ A、月。B、星。C、太陽。D、日。答えは C、太陽です。フォーマルな時は国旗を日の丸と呼びます。正しいですか？正しくないですか？ A、正しいです。B、正しくないです。答えは正しくないです。フォーマルな時は国旗を日章旗と呼びます。最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。
Access your free language gifts right now, before they expire. First, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life PDF ebook. Get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one PDF ebook. Download it right now before it disappears. Second, the Talking About Your Family conversation cheat sheet. Learn all the words you need to know to talk about your family with this one cheat sheet. Third, the Must-Know Words for Hobbies vocab lesson. If you want to talk about your hobbies in your target language, this 1-minute lesson is for you. Fourth, the top 15 phrases for talking about your plans, such as I am free tomorrow, I'm busy, and much more. Fifth, going on vacation vocabulary. Learn how to say camping, road trip, summer holiday, and much more with this 1-minute lesson. And sixth, the only app that teaches you the language through conversations between real people. Download Innovative Language Learning for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. You'll unlock bite-sized lessons that teach you practical conversations and get you speaking in minutes. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year. If you started learning a language at the start of the year, we're now pretty much halfway through the year. Has your language improved since January? And what about these next remaining months? Do you have any plans? If you don't want to feel guilty about being lazy with the language, and if you want to end the year strong instead of restarting next January for the millionth time, then now is the time to do it. Today, you'll learn 1. The best ways to ramp up your language progress without having to study more. 2. 7 tips and learning tools for faster progress. And 3. Much more. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life PDF ebook. Get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one PDF ebook. Download it right now before it disappears. And second, the How to Talk About Your Family conversation cheat sheet. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Now to today's topic. How to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year. So if you want to ramp up your language progress, what should you do? Well, let's ask the question in a different way. What can you control within your language learning? You can't easily control results because that takes time, right? But you can always control your effort, meaning you can do more and spend more time. And for most learners, spending more time is usually the answer, and that's it. Just put in more time. Lesson over. But if you're not like most learners, if you've been learning a language without much progress, just throwing more time at the problem is not the best answer. Now, it's more about spending that time better, because some methods get you better results than others in the same amount of time. Part 1. The best ways to ramp up your progress. In fact, there's a popular story about a ceramics class you'll hear if you're learning about productivity, where a ceramics teacher split their class into 2 groups, where one group was graded on quality, where they had to create just one perfect pot to get a perfect grade, and the other group was graded on quantity, so they had to make 50 pots to get a perfect grade, and both spent the same amount of time. Can you guess who made the best pots? Was it the group that had to just make one perfect pot, or the group that made 50 in the same amount of time? Well, the group that made 50 pots ended up creating higher quality pots because they learned from the experience, whereas the group that sat around thinking of one best idea didn't get to improve at all. So both groups put in the same amount of time, but one group's results were vastly different. Just goes to show that if you want to ramp up your effort, it's also important to spend that time wisely. If you spend 1 hour cramming for the week, or if you spend 10 minutes a day for 6 days, both adding up to 1 hour for the week, you'll make better progress with 10 minutes a day for 6 days rather than cramming. Cramming doesn't work for hours up front, it just doesn't work. Similarly, if you spend 10 minutes watching YouTube videos on language, or 10 minutes saying 20 specific phrases where you're doing output over and over, you'll be way better off with the 20 phrases. The second lesson from that ceramics class story is this: frequency is much more important than the time put in. The group that got the best results made 50 pots. That's 50 practice attempts. So the amount of times you do something is way more important than how long you do it. Between cramming for an hour once a week and spending 10 minutes a day for 6 days, which is also an hour a week, you'll make better progress with 10 minutes a day for 6 days. With cramming, you only technically learn once, and then you forget. With 10 minutes for 6 days, that was 6 practice sessions, where your brain had time to rest, time to process what you've learned, and then had a chance to revisit it the next time around, allowing you to remember things better. So, to recap, if you want to ramp up your language progress, you can put in more time, which is good enough because most learners aren't putting in enough time. You can spend your time wisely with better learning techniques, and you can also increase your frequency of practice and learning. So, what can you do? Part 2. 7 tips and learning tools for faster progress. If you want to ramp up your language progress for the second half of the year and speak more, one way to do it would be to put in more time. If you're only putting in 10 minutes a day, try 20. But putting in more time for the sake of doing it may not always be the best approach. It depends on what you do with that time. So, if you want to ramp up your speaking progress, here's how you ramp up your output. 1. Increase the frequency of your output, or practice sessions. And this is the main takeaway from this lesson. However you choose to practice, you'll get better results from practicing several times a day or several times a week instead of once a day or once a week. This is why cramming never works. Here's how. 2. Practice your speaking skills by sending recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. The easiest thing you can do here is to send 3 recordings a day. 1 in the morning, 1 during the day, and 1 at night, detailing what you've done. Like, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, and I go to work. Just send 3 or 4 lines like that, nothing complicated. And they'll review your recordings and respond with corrections. 3. Take our hand-graded assessments to practice and assess your speaking and writing skills. You'll find these in the recommended pathway. And remember, you can always retake them after if you want to improve your score or apply the teacher's feedback. If you're a premium member, you can take our multiple choice assessments instead. 4. Practice shadowing the lesson conversation 3 times in one day. For example, after taking the lesson, shadow it once. If it's in the morning, then do it a second time at noon and a third time in the evening or before you go to bed. The point of spacing it out throughout the day is so that you remember it better instead of doing it once and forgetting it. 5. Practice reading the lesson dialogue out loud. If you can't easily shadow a conversation just yet, then reading is the next best thing. You can read along with the dialogue tool, lesson notes, or lesson transcript. 6. You can also practice writing out the lesson dialogues. Our lesson dialogues are conversations that you can use in real life with native speakers. And by writing it out a few times, you'll remember it better that way. 7. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. You'll find the voice recorder inside the dialogue tool in all of our lessons. Just look for the microphone icon next to each line. By the way, all of these suggestions shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes, and all of these shouldn't be done just once a week. Just pick 1 or 2 from this list of suggestions and try them out. The goal here is to increase the frequency of sessions, or output throughout the day or week. Remember, even though putting in more time can be a way to ramp up your progress, you still have to apply that time wisely. You could spend 15 minutes practicing speaking, or do just 5 minutes 3 times throughout the day, which is also 15 minutes. But you remember things better with the extra repetition. Thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to maintain your mindset and language learning routine. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye. Great work. Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.